Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Gem Holographic, the 80s icon of Halloween. And today, I just wanted to do a little quick video to tell you guys my top 5 in no particular order favorite horror movies that I saw this year of 2025. So guys, I just want to say that the year of 2025, I think, is the year of original horror. There was so much good horror this year. Well, not so much. We'll talk about it. But I just feel like there was a lot of good original horror movies this year. So starting off the top of my little dome here, again, this is in no particular order, I want to talk about, well no, we'll save this to the end because I think this is my favorite of 2025. So we're going to talk about the scariest movie that I saw this year, and that was Bring Her Back. Now, I did not know what to think of this movie when I was seeing it advertised, and I don't know what it is with me, you guys. I am a horror nerd to the core. I've always loved horror. I've always loved everything spooky. Nothing really scares me, but there's something about the advertisements for this movie that really freaked me out, and I knew that I was gonna have a kind of scared viewing experience. And I will say I was scared while watching the movie. Not ashamed to admit it. You know, they did get me, girl.
Damn, this is some scary shit.
But I will also say that this movie was so good. I believe that this is from the same producers as Talk to Me, which was also a really good horror movie. If you have not seen that, that was last year or the year before. I think it was last year it came out, but it's from the same producers. And this movie was really good. I really had kind of no idea what was really going to be happening in the movie, and it was actually a scary movie. So Bring Her Back is the scariest movie that I saw in 2025. The next movie I want to talk about is probably everybody's favorite horror movie of 2025, and that is, of course, Sinners. This movie, I knew from the minute that I watched the trailer that I wanted to see it. Of course, Michael B. Jordan's fine ass is in this movie.
When I tell you this man is so fine, when I tell you this man is scrumptious, he make me wanna, oh God.
Twice, because he's playing a twin, well, a set of twins. But also, I love like historical vampire movies. Seeing that this was gonna be like a historical, like period set, like vampire story, I was really interested in seeing it. And the movie did not disappoint. This movie is seriously one of the best movies that I've seen in recent years, if not my whole life. It is such a good movie. And if you have not watched Sinners, I highly recommend that you do in fact watch it. Again, no spoilers here, but I will say that Sinners is a fantastic movie and one of the best movies of 2025. Okay, going into kind of like a crowd pleaser here, I'm gonna talk about Final Destination 6. Now, one thing about me, I love the Final Destination franchise. Final Destination 3 is my favorite. I think it's the best one. I will die on this hill. Argue with yourselves in the comments. Final Destination 3 is the best one.
I said what I said.
But Final Destination 6 was so good. Talk about a follow-up to a long-running franchise that's been dormant for well over 10 years. I think the last movie came out, Final Destination 5, came out in 2011. So well over almost 15 years.
I didn't go to school for math.
This movie has not come out, and I remember early hype for the movie. It had a different plot, which sounded interesting, but I am glad that we got the movie that we did. It was really interesting to kind of see how they took the Final Destination format and put it towards like one centralized family versus like random people that happen to be in a disaster or a group of teenagers or whatever. I just felt like it was a really good follow-up, and of course this was Tony Todd's last feature film. And if you know, you know, I cried in the movie. Every time I watch it, I tear up. I'm such a big Tony Todd fan, so, you know, just kind of seeing him send off the camera, it gets me emotional every time. But this is definitely a worthy follow-up to the last Final Destination movie, which is really good. This one was also really good, so I'm really excited to kind of see what they do with the franchise now that it is back in the fold. Okay, you guys, so going on to my next one, and this movie is quite polarizing, I feel like, but of course I'm talking about I Know What You Did Last Summer, and again, big fan of this franchise. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer is my favorite because it has my girl Brandy in it. Hey girl! But I love this franchise, and I'm not gonna lie, when I was first seeing like the cast photos and stuff, I was kind of scared because the last thing that we got with I Know What You Did Last Summer was that Amazon TV show, and that was not good. So I was kind of worried, but then I started seeing the trailers, and of course we saw Jennifer Love Hewitt in the trailer, and we saw Freddie Prinze Jr.'s fine ass in the trailer. So I was really excited, and I was really hoping that they would incorporate Brandy in some way. And again, no spoilers, but let me just say I was not disappointed. And I will say that, just a quick thing on this movie before we move on to our honorable mentions, but this movie is for the girls and the gays, and if you didn't like it, I don't know what to tell you. Reevaluate your life, because I got my life watching this movie. I freaking love this movie, and you can fight me in the comments, but it's my channel, so I'm gonna win. Let's get into some honorable mentions. Another movie that came out this year that I was kind of excited to see was Doc of Chucky. Now this is from the same people who did the Never Sleep Again in Elm Street Legacy documentary. And of course, as you can probably tell, I am a massive fan of Chucky. This is actually one of our life-size replicas here. This is the Child's Play 2 Screaming Chucky. But I am a huge Chucky fan, if it wasn't obvious. So getting like a long form, like behind the scenes documentary of how things were done, I was really interested in seeing, really excited to see it. I'm glad it's here. Two things about it. Some of the people they chose for that documentary was questionable. And also, the use of AI in that documentary, y'all need to do better. Another honorable mention, or should I say dishonorable mention, is Clown in a Cornfield. Now this is based on a book that came out in 2022, 2021, and I read the book and I liked the book and I was really excited to kind of see the movie. And I'm not gonna lie, the movie was not great. It was not great. I felt like they just did not have the budget to pull it off the way that it should have been done, and a lot of the acting was questionable and the story changes was questionable. If you have watched the movie and you were disappointed, please read the book. I assure you the book is much better. It is definitely like a teen, young adult horror story, but it is much better than what was presented in the movie, I promise. Okay, you guys, let's get into my favorite movie that I saw in 2025, and that was, of course, Weapons. I'm sure this is everybody's favorite movie this year. If it's not this, it's probably Sinners. So, you know, they're both on my list. I have good taste. But Weapons was a movie that when I started seeing the advertisements and all of the online marketing, I had no idea what this movie was about. This movie was so polarizing to me. I had no idea what it was about, but I knew that I had to actually see the movie so I could watch this story play out. And I will say, did not disappoint. This is a fantastic movie. And you guys, honestly, this movie was so good, and I'm so glad that it introduced a new player into the lexicon of iconic horror characters. So
she's got a point. She's an icon. She's a legend, and she is the moment. Now, come on now.
If you have not seen Weapons, please go see Weapons. It is on streaming. You can buy it physical, whatever. And I'm just gonna say, again, not getting into any spoilers, but just getting a little philosophical about it for a moment. A lot of these movies that I mentioned here, aside from I Know What You Did Last Summer, are original stories. And I really do value, like, the original story aspect that we're seeing a lot with horror and a lot of indie horror. I think Bring Her Back is technically like an indie horror film. But again, we love to see our franchises that we like come back and have new entries, but it's also kind of refreshing to see these original ideas get the shine that I think they deserve. And I will say, Weapons does not need a sequel or a prequel. So I'm just gonna say it's good on its own. I don't think it needs to be expanded upon. And I think that it's in the same like kind of universe as Barbarian, which was also a really good movie. If you haven't seen Barbarian, highly recommend. It is also a really good horror movie. I think it came out last year, but this is one of those movies that does not need a follow-up or a prequel. So I hope that whatever they do with the weapons or the characters is that it's another original tale. And that's all I'll say on the subject. And again, you guys, this list was in no particular order. I just kind of listed out some of my favorite movies and why. Did you guys see these movies? I would love to know what your top 5 movies of 2025 is. Not even just like horror. I'm talking about horror now because it's Halloween. But what were your top 5 horror movies or non-horror that you saw this year? Did you agree with my takes on these movies? I'd love to know in the comments down below. And guys, if you want to see more of my Chucky content, you can actually follow me over on my Instagram at jen_holographic. It'll be in the description down below. And guys, don't forget, if you'd like to support me directly, you can always subscribe to my Patreon. $5 a month gets you access to all member benefits. That includes Patreon exclusive content and live streams, early sneak peeks to my YouTube videos, and whatever else I decide to upload on Patreon. And while we're talking about our socials, if you'd like to follow me on my socials, they will be right here as well as in the description. If you'd like to tip a drag queen in need, my Venmo will be right here as well as in the description. As always, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any one of my new uploads. And as always, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Be bold, be beautiful, be truly outrageous, and I will see you in the next video. Have a happy Halloween. And I just want to give a shout out to my patrons. Thank you to Salvador Diaz, DS, Safelight, Liam, and Corey. And in my holograms tier, Neverfilth and Aaron. Thank you guys so much for your support over on Patreon. If you guys are interested in joining my Patreon for exclusive content and behind the scenes footage, please feel free to click the link in the description down below. Thank you guys.